This is our last live show of the year.
Last live show.
Last live show.
Last live show.
Got to end it with a bang. Who'd have thought we'd get through this? I thought we'd only do like 10 of these and say, fuck off.
Well, we kind of did, though.
Yeah, we kind of did.
Oh, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Funky Panther, coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas. We've got a phenomenal show for you today because we've got a really special guest, someone we're really excited about being here on our very final episode of 2020. You want to say hi, Holly?
Hello, everybody.
Hey. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Let's get into it. I'm Chad.
I'm Javier.
And I'm Tim.
And we are
the Funky Panther!
Woo!
That went pretty smooth.
It did.
I mean, I feel like I missed something, but it's okay.
You missed nothing. It was
Okay,
perfect.
so we used to like have the guest, if we had a guest, like say it with us, like say their name. But I think Chad was like,
It was me.
It was you. It's
Yeah.
always you.
Yeah, it's always
It's
Tim.
like we should maybe not let him do that because it'll confuse people. Like, are they like on like a part of it?
No,
now?
everyone knows.
Are they the Funky Panther?
Yeah.
I mean, you are the Funky Panther. The listeners are the Funky Panther.
Well, they're the Funky Bunch. Now you're getting them confused.
Yeah.
We're the Funky Panther.
Why are you here? Why are you here?
All right, so really excited
I don't
about
know.
our guest today. We've been kind of like waiting to have you on for a while because we wanted it to be like into the year with a bang, honestly. And I talked to Jared, your husband, recently. Did you know Jared's your husband? I'm just making sure you knew.
Thanks for introducing us. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Your husband, he mentioned, maybe you should really have Holly on. I was like, I know, but we want to make sure the timing was right. And so here we are. How are you doing?
I'm good. My agent over there, he's behind the scenes right now. So thanks for teeing that up, Jared. Much appreciated.
Where do I sign, Mr. Barry Gordy?
And y'all brought us some beers tonight,
Yeah.
We
too.
did.
So this is the Banana Foster's
Bananas
dessert
Foster.
beer, Bananas Foster from Martin House. Appreciate this.
Yeah.
Go ahead and open mine up.
Absolutely.
I already drank mine, like the alcoholic that I am. You know, somebody said that I've been drinking way too much on the shows.
You said that.
No,
You-
but somebody
you
had
have
said,
been.
somebody raised concern that he's drinking too much during the recordings.
Ooh, that's good.
And I do agree. Yeah, right? It's
Yeah.
really delicious.
I mean, I feel like you raised concerns before the show started.
True, I did. it's all the depression and
Okay.
like the antidepressants.
We said we weren't going to talk about depression
Well,
on this
okay,
one.
all right.
That beer reminds me of like it does remind me of the Wells banana bread.
Banana bread beer? Yeah, it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So what's everyone up to? Have we been anywhere local? What have we been doing?
We had a benefit on Sunday, so that was.
So when this drops, that's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Holly had a thing, right? Tell us.
Yes. So we did a drive for sandwiches on Sunday. So this will be irrelevant by the time this comes out, but for the Presbyterian Night Shelter. So some of our local charities right now are really in need of some love, some donations, some in-kind things. And so we did a drive to get sandwiches to feed the homeless in Fort Worth. And so very successful, very thankful. Chad, your parents actually came by too.
Yeah.
And you guys who donated, we much appreciate it. Be thinking about your charities this time of year. I know that 2020 has hit them all hard. And so we were thankful that we were able to give back. And we got about 1,400 sandwiches to give
And what was the
homeless.
goal?
They had asked for 250 to 500, and so way exceeded
Nailed
that.
it.
Yes, and so very thankful for everybody that
Destroyed that
participated.
goal.
That's pretty cool.
Took control of it.
That's
awesome.
awesome. Great job. Congratulations, y'all.
Yeah, you did really
That's a
great.
really big win.
We got to go run around picking up donations that were given to us for our giveaway when we did our live Funky Christmas show. And
It's a very funky
funky Christmas
special.
Excuse me. I just show up at this point.
Yeah, I know. Here's the soundboard. Let's hook it up. All right, I'm
All right,
here.
cool. I'd never been to Coco Shrimp
Yeah.
and seen the building. Like I've had Coco Shrimp. We had it right before we aired one of our episodes. But going to see the building, seeing where it's at, that's a cool location.
It really is.
Right across the street from Nichols City, which we have not been to.
No.
I have been to. I will vouch for it. Very cool spot. Think of dive bar, but maybe more upscale dive bar.
I love dive
Very
bars.
cool.
Yeah.
She's perfect, 100%.
And it looks like it's all done for like Christmas and stuff right now, which is pretty cool.
It is Christmas pop up through the first week of January. Very decked out. Very cool. If you go, get the frozen Irish coffee.
Ooh, I saw that and I was like, I thought it was kind of weird that they had it there. I was like, I thought this was like a bar, not like a coffee thing.
The
here.
way she's promoting it, you would think that
it's
she's
an
paid
alcoholic
by
bev. Dude, it's got alcohol in it.
I mean, I don't know.
It's not just a coffee.
I've never been to a bar where they did that. Like,
You've
I can't
never been
think
to a
of one.
bar?
It's Jameson and coffee.
Oh, well, see, like, I mean, I'm Mexican. We have like tequila in our coffee or something.
No, you don't.
No,
when
we
have you
don't.
ever had tequila in your coffee?
Never.
Now you're just trying to be more Mexican than you are.
Look at my bandana. That's why I wore it. Again, we have Holly here. She's a director of community and what is it? Public relations for the medical city of Fort Worth. Weatherford?
You're really
Wow.
butchering that.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Wow.
I drank too much already.
Wow.
Oh, so it was you that said it. Okay. Holly, what is it that you do?
So actually, in 2020, I left Medical City
I'm
Healthcare.
sorry.
No, that's okay.
My research is. I'm not Sean Evans from Hot Ones.
That is all right. So now I work for a telehealth startup. So I left the big healthcare organization. I was one of the directors in the U.S.'s largest healthcare system, and I left this year. I'm sure that you all know 2020 for our healthcare system was a beating. And
Oh, yeah.
Walked
Absolutely.
away from that and actually hopped into a new startup based in Silicon Valley. And so I do marketing. I'm their director for a telehealth startup.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank
So how long you been doing that?
I've been doing that since July.
Ooh,
See, look, it's been long. My research is horrible.
That's only 5 months, buddy. You did okay. You did okay.
I tried.
So that actually kind of
thanks for trying,
segues. This episode is really going to be about a few things that you already hit on. So one is going to be about 2020 and then going into 2021 since this is our last episode of the year. I also want to talk about like career progression, career development, those kind of things, because you were one of the 40 under 40 or top 40 under 40 in Fort Worth this year.
I was. Yes, I was.
Do they
Congratulations.
base that off of like a voting system? Do you get nominated like prom king, queen? How does that work? Because I don't understand it.
They're not going to nominate or vote for you, Tim. I'm sorry, buddy.
Well,
I'll vote for you, Tim.
Thank you.
You do get nominated.
Okay.
And then it's based on all the applications that come in. So I was nominated when I was with Medical City, I was nominated by my one up there she was wonderful. I mean, such a mentor in my career. And she's the one that put me up for that. And I mean, such an honor. But yes, you're nominated and you're selected that way.
okay, that's really cool.
It was really legit. I mean, to see someone that we knew. I mean, I felt
Yeah.
pretty cool. I mean, how did you feel when you were like on the website and it was in like a magazine and everything,
Forward
right?
magazine?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It felt great. It was such a strange time, though, because the announcement came out about the same time that COVID hit. And so, I mean, so much uncertainty about what was going on. They typically do an event to celebrate all the winners. We couldn't get together. They threw something together, but it was months after the fact, and it was at Coyote Drive-In. And so we did get to celebrate together, but then it was a transition of my career also. So it was just kind of a fluid time in my life. So it was great. It was exciting. I was very thankful for everybody that encouraged me along the way on that.
We got
Hard
to
work,
celebrate
hard work.
though. Like
We did.
right before COVID hit,
The
we all got
weekend
to go
before
to
shutdown, yes.
What was it, Chimney's and then
It
a couple
was.
of spots on 7th Street. That was a good time though.
That was a great
That was
time.
a really good time. That was a lot of fun.
I mean, Chimmy's is never a bad time.
No, of course not.
Well, any more than 2 margaritas or any more than like 2 or 3 of the
Texas
DP
shootout?
shootouts, it's going to be a bad
It
time.
always starts as a good time. and then the next day hits you and you're just like, oh my gosh, what did I do?
Yeah, I've had a couple of rough end of the nights, but a good start at Chimmy's.
Good start. I got my grandmother. She did a DP shootout. She was dancing with a mariachi band. It was a great time.
That's
I want to
so
party
awesome.
with your grandmother.
Yes, you do.
That's legit. So, okay, before we get into all the things we just talked about, we do have to do the Funky Five.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, you listen to us.
I do.
Okay, so you kind of know what it is. So if I say, hey, Holly, what's your favorite color?
Pink.
Pink. Boom. Okay, so number 1, your favorite Fort Worth restaurant?
Joe T's.
Joe T's. That was quick. Nice.
I like that.
Favorite drinking spot?
Oh, that one's harder. Oh. I mean, I feel like Chimmy's, but it's just on the brain. Maybe that's why.
Y'all go to Chimney, or you have gone
We
to Chimmy's
do go.
quite a bit in the past. I mean,
We
it's not a
do.
bad call out.
Jared said he was going to go hang his stocking up. Right now, they've got all their stockings hanging. He's like, I feel like we've earned this. Stick it on the wall.
There you go. Favorite local musician?
Leon Bridges.
Okay.
Nice.
Great. Favorite hobby?
Is that a local? Can I do volunteering?
Volunteering's a hobby, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So can I give Junior League a plug? I know that Tabitha, your wife, is in
Yeah.
there with
Yeah.
me, but for any women that are interested who are Fort Worth driven and want to get involved, I would absolutely plug Junior League to look into it. they're a great organization, and if you're interested in giving back, I would absolutely start there.
Not only give back, which is kind of, the root of it, right? But also you get to meet some really cool ladies, right? And meet some cool people that are doing some other things and get outside of your comfort zone a little bit and outside of your circle. We've got a pretty large circle, I think, but like there's a lot more people that you get to meet in that kind of organization. So awesome.
Absolutely.
And they're located off of Bailey. Is that right?
They are, yeah.
Is that-
right now everything.
Did you do that in your research? How did you know that?
I go by there all the time.
Okay.
To work, because it's like I go to Starbucks and I'll cut through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you nailed that one. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, and last question: if there was a show or if there was a movie on TV, you have to stop, and it doesn't matter what you're doing or flipping through the channels. You stop and you watch it until it finishes.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Nice.
Okay.
That's a good one because
Man,
Same
did a
year.
really
That's the
good
same
job.
year. That's the same year Shawshank came out.
So ours is Shawshank.
Yeah.
And I think Forrest Gump is probably my second one. That'd be if it's on TV, I'm going to stop there too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter where it's at.
really
you can just
good.
pick it up and start watching it, and you're going to be happy.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, you nailed those. I think that was the fastest anyone's answered. So you just
was.
popped those off like real quick.
But it was
Great
because
job.
it was because Javier wasn't saying okay, but side.
Question 1A.
Side question. What's your favorite rap album?
Okay.
Oh.
That's
Okay, can I segue here? Okay, do you remember the first time we met? And this ties into rap album, I promise. Do you remember?
I don't.
Okay, so I met you at JD and Shayla's. Jared and I weren't even married yet. And please tell me you remember this. It was a Christmas party,
Was it-
ugly sweater party, and Kanye Flashing Lights came on, and you and I rapped every word. And at the end of it,
Oh my god.
at the end of it, you said, so I just need to know, like, do you have any hot single friends who also know how to sing Kanye? And I'm like, that's your requirements? That's what you're looking for?
That's all I
he's
require.
he's
That's all
a
I
simple
need.
man, but very specific.
Yes, that
It
is
needs
so
to change
awesome.
a little bit, but that's still one of the primary needs.
Oh,
yeah.
come on. It's like you can't beat that yay. You can't beat that style of yay. That was really baller though. What is that? Oh. Oh my god, dude.
Awesome. That's an awesome story.
I love it. I love hearing stories like that. That's so much fun. We used to have so much fun at those parties.
We did.
I miss them so
Bring him
much.
back, 2021.
Those were great because those were nights that we got really drunk and enjoyed ourselves and listened to music.
Seems like you're still doing that.
Yeah, I am.
Zing.
No, she's not lying.
Oh, I know.
Look at my record
Every
player.
Tuesday.
That's all I do. Get drunk and listen to music.
Yeah, and sometimes when we were setting up, you've got your record player
Yeah.
just on
Oh, yeah,
blast.
he blasts like usually was it Baby Driver?
Yeah, Baby Driver
Just-
soundtrack's really
Just
good.
as loud as he
A lot
can
of-
as we're trying to set up.
lot of
We
old
can't hear
school
each
music.
other or anything. He's like, yeah, this is good. This is good.
Or like
it's good volume.
Nas has made you look. That's
Yeah.
This is a good level.
hey Google. No, Google doesn't work right now because it's not connected to my internet.
Yeah, for sure. You completely made me lose my train
I'm
of
so
thought.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Wait, no, we didn't ask. What is your favorite rap album?
I mean, I feel like I just got a cue card that said graduation.
That
with
is right.
Kanye.
Okay, all right. That is
I
actually
do-
Kanye's best rap album.
Yeah.
I
think.
agree.
Agreed.
I'm with you. Old school Kanye.
You can't beat
Gets
him.
me.
No.
Of course, no. The first 4 or 5 albums were some of the greatest in music history. Did so much with his voice. Anywho, let's move on.
All right.
Enough
So
about me.
let's talk about like career progressions, right? So let's talk about how you got to where you are now, and then we'll go around and kind of say ours too, because I think it's interesting where people have come from. Because here we are. I feel like you're probably the most successful here in this house, including you too, buddy. Sorry. But I feel like compared to where we have been earlier, obviously, in our lives, there's a lot of progression, there's a lot of change. And so starting with you, where have you kind of started to where you got here? And what are some of those things that kind of molded you along the way?
Absolutely. So whenever I started school, I went in and I knew that I was going to be a nurse. My mom was a nurse. She worked in the ER whenever I was in high school, and I just knew that that was my calling. And then I went in and I started nursing school, and I kid you not, true story, fainted in anatomy and physiology when we dissected cats. And I was like, holy shit, this is probably not the route I need to go. And so I really thought about, what can I do? What do I love? And so went into the marketing and PR field. And then right after college, got looped in with a hospital system. So I have been focused in healthcare ever since then. I mean, I feel like I still have a heart for it.
Yeah.
But nursing was just not for me, which I'm very lucky where I ended
It takes
up.
a special type of
It
person.
really does.
Yeah.
I mean, I know 2020 they've gotten a lot of love, but even before that, I mean, it does take a special, caring person to be able to walk in and do
Absolutely.
that. And so from there, kind of developed in the PR marketing world, and that's where I spent the last 7 years. Was with a hospital system doing PR, their crisis communication, all kinds of fun things. I've got some stories for you later that I've thought
okay.
about.
What was is that your first job though in the medical field?
That was right out of college. That was my first job. I started with a hospital. I was their marketing coordinator, and then got shifted through the system. Was one of their youngest directors moving along. I got very lucky that I had some very strong mentors who really believed in me from the start, and so I was able to progress pretty quickly through that system.
Nice. You started strong then. Great job. Awesome.
Thank you.
Javier, what about you? What has got you to where you are now?
That's a terrible question to ask me right now.
Daddy.
No, I mean, I like my dad taught me what he knew whenever I was growing up, and he didn't put us to work. I mean, we didn't have a babysitter, so he brought us to work with him whenever he had us on weekends, and he's like, "Oh, there's a hood. Go find the dent. Where's your tool? Find your tool." And of course, as a kid, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to play, and so we got to high school. I knew what I was doing at the shop, and I went to school for political science, and I wanted to be a sex therapist at first, but that's a pipe dream.
Really?
Yeah, I really did. And every time like my
So you went for, what did you say? Political science.
Well, that
for
was
sex
second.
Therapy?
That was second.
Oh, okay.
was
sex
like-
therapy was first, and then
Political science with a minor in sex therapy.
but I want to be a sex
about
therapist.
right.
I want to be a sex therapist. So my dad, every time like he'd ask my grandma, he's like, "Oh, Javier is trying to go to school to be a pimp." I don't know what he's doing.
Seriously?
Yeah, he did. It was really funny. But no, after that, I've worked at Best Buy and T-Mobile, but the entire time I was still learning how to do what my dad does, is like hail damage repair and stuff like that. So after wanting to get out of retail, had to be like 8 or 9 years ago now. Actually, I quit the weekend of JD and Shayla's wedding. That's whenever I quit. And so then that's when I started doing my job full time, and here I am. And like now I think it's been like it's been a bumpy road, but I think where I am now, I'm getting to the point to where I'm taking over. Like my dad is just like coasting and watching me do this, and he's not like getting involved as much as he did before. But I think he's going to retire in 2 years, and me and my brother we're each. My brother works at another shop that he helps run, and we're just going to run it for him and make it grow.
Well, you've mentioned it before, but like your job takes a certain type of skill. I think like whenever I was in high school, it was all about like go to college and then figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like college and then have a career. Yeah. But like there are a lot of jobs that just are like based off of like experience,
Just like
skill.
trades, just
Yeah,
like,
trade jobs.
an HVAC person, or even jobs like that. I mean, you can go to a trade school and not even have to go to college and find a great living somewhere else. I mean, you don't have to necessarily go to college. Not that there's anything wrong with it, because I went to college and it's not for everybody, but do what you love. And what's that saying? Like, if you do what you love, then you never have to work a day in your life.
That's
Yeah.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Dude, you're doing, what is it?
You're doing
Two,
so good tonight.
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
Cool.
That ain't bad.
But my only regret is that I didn't do it sooner, but I would not trade the memories I've made or the people that I've met along the way. It's like the best part of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Chad, what about you, though?
Me. Well, I came a long way from working at Burris in high school, the grocery store here in River Oaks, the old IGA. So from that, I went to college. We went down to A&M, a little expensive, a little more difficult than I anticipated. And so cut back, came back here and started going to TCC and worked at our school district as a computer tech for honestly, it was way too long. It was way too long. For the amount of money that I was making, I was there way too long. I was there for like 7 years, I think. The cool thing about it, though, is the time that I had off, and I had the time off to go to school at the same time, so there was definitely some benefit there. But it went until my buddy, Noel, shout out to Noel, he was like, hey, man, I work at this spot, And I make this much money. And like he'd been asking me to come work over there for a while, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm a computer technologist. I'm a professional, sir. Like I'm not going to go and sling, retail.
I'm above consumer electronics and retail and stuff like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Then he told me how much he was making. I was like, okay, where do I apply? He helped me get a job. I was doing that for 2 years, and then kind of worked up that whole management line. Assistant manager, retail store manager, up to corporate level now, which is really cool because, especially, I haven't been in the office. It's nice. In the middle of all this shit that's happening this year, at least I have a job, one, and then at least I have a job where I can work from home and still be able to do all of my work that I need to do. You do a lot of working from home too, right?
I do. Now I do. Completely remote. Our whole team is spread out across the U.S. And
it's nice, right?
It is so nice.
Yeah.
Most of the time. I go a little stir crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Like I told my boss, I was like, I would love to go back to the office 1 or 2 days a week, but still primarily be home. You know what I mean? Because I'm getting the exact same amount of work done. I still get to see their pretty faces via, WebEx and all that kind of stuff. But just that flexibility, it's nice. Very fortunate. Especially because my job is made to create projects to create flexibility for our workforce, and we didn't have flexibility. So it's like we're out here trying to create these things so people have a better work-life balance, and we didn't really have them at the time. But luckily, one of the benefits of this year is this kind of happened for us. But definitely the best job I've ever had. I have worked so hard to get to this point, and now I don't know what to do next because finally got there.
Just got to keep going up that ladder.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just I've got a great boss, a great team, great work, and I'm very, very fortunate. What about you, Timmy?
Well, I'm in the medical field, and I've been on a truck for way too long.
Yeah,
12 years. There's not a whole lot of unfortunately in my career field, there's not a whole bunch of moving up the chain unless you want to get off the truck and be in administrative stuff or teaching and things like that. But I started off as just your very basic entry level employee, and I've been a field training officer now for I think 4-ish years, almost 5 years. We just had a cost analysis raise, so I got a raise just recently.
Great job,
is cool.
man.
Yeah, that's always nice whenever they reevaluate what everybody's making, and then you get this email. It's like, hey, we're giving you some more money. I'm like, cool. I didn't have to do anything extra. I'm getting some extra cash. I like it. But my job was not my first choice. What I do is not what I thought I was going to do, at all. It all started. I had a friend of that we all know. So he was like, hey, you ought to come be a firefighter at River Oaks.
I remember that.
Oh, no fingers.
And so I started, that's where I started, and they paid for me to go to EMT school. And so I put my time in as, volunteering with the fire department. And I still was like, okay, this is fun, but it's not really a career. I don't feel like it's my career. I don't really want to do that. And then I got a job on an ambulance out in the middle of nowhere in Jacksboro. I drove 74 miles one way just to go to work. Oof. And we'd work 24 on, 48 off, and still I was like, okay.
That's where our deer lease is.
Yeah.
I hate driving out there just to go hunt, and you had to go out there every day.
Yeah, it was weird. So it would just still
faster
wasn't
now because that Azel, that road is finally finished,
Yes.
and that was rough back in the day.
but still not my job of choice. And honestly, where I'm at now, it's still not my ideal career. And I was telling y'all earlier, I always wanted to be kind of like a radio personality, and this kind of gets me to live that lifestyle without having to go through all that either.
Yeah.
But I honestly thought I would go to technical. I wanted to go to Texas State Technical College whenever I was younger, and I thought I would do that and then go and be learn how to work on cars and body work and mechanics and stuff like that. And I just never did it. I did this instead, and I've been kind of here. The rest of my life is going to be on an ambulance, which is fine actually. I actually do enjoy where I'm at. My role now is quite enjoyable because not only am I'm out and about. We don't have as much supervision. I get to kind of do my own thing. I get to practice medicine essentially without having someone oversight all the time. And I also get to train new employees and teach them exactly what you need to do and how to do it and make them better at their job. So,
how not to die.
So yeah, it's actually really cool.
So 15 years ago, you said you didn't think you'd be where you are now, right?
Yeah,
that was not your job of choice. Did you know that you'd be working, at the shop?
No, I didn't. I I thought, and I remember the conversation I had with my dad because we'd always argue, and he was, and I know he was doing it for my own good. Like he'd push me to be like, no, you got to get on that hood and stay on there until you fix this, and and he'd be really hard on me. But like, I mean, he did it because he wanted me to learn. Like, I mean, he and even to this day when we have our conversations, he's like imagine the things you'd have now if you had started doing this like before you finished high school. And it makes sense. But again, like that goes back to like my biggest regret of not doing it before or doing it sooner. But like Drake said, better late than never, but never late is better. But I mean, I should have like
another quote.
Yes,
that was a different quote, right? Like, that was a different quote.
but he's right. But again, I'm glad I'm doing it now because when he started doing Hell, it was after my parents' divorce, and he was like 33, 34 years old. How old I am right now. And when I started doing this and practicing again, I was like in my early 20s. So I mean,
ahead of the game a little bit.
Ahead of the game, yeah. So because my biggest thing was comparing where I am now versus where my dad was, and I think that's kind of like how we are with our parents too. Like we kind of see where they were at our age to where we are now, and I had to look at it I shouldn't compare it like that because it's going to drive me crazy. And like my dad had a family, he had us, we were kids, and he was already divorced by the time like I was his age.
Yeah.
So I had to stop seeing things that way.
Well, times have changed too, though,
absolutely.
right? Like, do you do that a lot? Do you ever compare yourself to like, well, this is where my parents were? Do you ever do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and I mean, not to get too deep, but I think 2020 has been an eye-opener for everybody as well. And Tim, you probably know this from the healthcare industry. I mean, it's been such a transformative year for healthcare also.
Yes.
I mean, I thought that I would retire from the hospital system, and you stop and you take a step back and you look and it's like, how long, not that we need to get too deep on this podcast, but it's like, how long is that sustainable, the system that we have in place right now? And
Right.
so,
Right.
I mean, I really love what I'm doing right now. I feel like the telehealth space is, reimagining what healthcare needs to look like for our country and for the best care.
Interesting. We just started a telehealth program. Like we're utilizing telehealth. We have this. So Medicare and Medicaid are now paying, so we can go out and if someone does not want to go to the hospital, we can offer them basically telehealth and get that established, which is pretty cool because used to it was okay. You want to go to the hospital? Let's go, and that's not sustainable at all.
Absolutely.
So, what is it exactly that you do with the new job then, with the telehealth?
So I walked in, and it's a team, and I'm telling you, bare bones. I went from the largest organization, one of the largest organizations in America, to, start up a team of 10. And so it is hit the ground running. It's a much different pace, but I do all of their marketing efforts.
Okay.
So all of their paid advertising, all of their writing, all of their website, all their public-facing information. So really getting the information out here of what the platform is and what it can offer. And so it is a platform that doctors can put into their practices.
Yeah.
And then they implement telehealth on to their patients.
Well, that's cool.
Sense. Yes.
That's cool. It's probably pretty fun too, right? Like starting something new is already kind of stressful because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Did I make the right decision leaving this, steady, secure thing to what I have no idea what's going to happen next, right? Not only that, but it's a brand new business, right? It's a startup. And so now you got to create the job as you go, right?
Absolutely. And talk about changing directions. 10 times a day. It is never the same. You wake up each day is new and there's something new to conquer, which I do enjoy, like the extreme ownership of it.
Yeah.
And really, my area is mine to own. And I do enjoy that part where the large organization, you have so many layers above you that you need approval, especially in healthcare. There's so many compliance issues, things like that. And so I do enjoy that part of it, but it's a much different, pace.
Yeah.
And like you said, the security, jumping off and kind of trusting that it'll work out. So it's been a wild ride so far.
But it's worked out so far.
So far it has. Fingers crossed.
So what are you most proud of about, from yourself in your career? What are you most proud about?
I would say right now it would be the leap of faith. I am a person where I like steady, secure, and I, just kind of jumped off and trusted that this was going to be the right thing to do. And so right now I would say that would be, the biggest moment in my career so far is just because I have been in this established system. I had such a good foundation, a good PR team that I worked with, great leadership, and really leaving that behind to try something new. So I would say that would be my
Well, shout out
biggest
to you
accomplishment.
because I know that is not easy, making that leap of faith.
Especially like this year of all years.
Right?
Check in with me 6 months from now if it works out or not.
That's really, I mean, that's a brave thing. I mean, that's,
Very brave.
yeah.
Yeah, this year has been extremely crazy, and to be able to make that kind of ginormous, leap to a new career and a new startup, it's pretty legit. It's pretty neat. I can tell why you're top 40 under 40. It's starting to make sense now. It's not just because you are really good at drinking. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm used to seeing. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah. Every picture I see her, she's got a drinking hand. It's really,
I mean, balance, right?
that's right.
Right. There's something to be said about people that have a really good professional career and have something to say, oh, yeah, I do that, but also know how to party.
And
You
she
know
can
what I mean?
still
And
unwind.
You can do that.
She can unwind after like the hard day, and she knows how to live her life.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No,
Balance.
of course.
Yeah, for sure.
I need that. I need balance.
Bro, you've got a balance. Shut up.
No, I don't. I work all the time. I never have a day off. I don't have days off.
You have Sundays off.
Sundays.
And half day Saturdays. We do this every Tuesday.
I know.
This is your mental health.
This is my
This
mental
is the
health, yeah.
fun.
But you also got to take off some time, like long periods of time to go on trips.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
On my birthday, I want
do.
to take a solo trip somewhere. Like I just
Man, do it.
All right, I'll go with you. Oh, wait.
He said solo.
solo trip.
Solo.
I know. I'm just messing around.
So your first job was Chick-fil-A.
It was. I started when I was 15 years old. I don't know why the hell I was so anxious to get out there and get on it, but 15, and I worked there all the way through college.
The Jesus Chicken.
The Jesus Chicken.
And they force you to say my pleasure, right?
Okay, we're not allowed to say that they force you to say it.
You don't work there anymore, right?
Look,
You're also not allowed to say fast food. It's quick service restaurant. I mean, we've got lots of little vocabulary
wink if you're in
lessons.
trouble.
Her phone starts ringing.
No, honestly.
We
it
told
was
you what to say.
Honestly, it was great. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, the sweetest people you could ever ask to work with.
And you had Sundays off.
Sundays off.
awesome.
All
Yeah.
the chicken you can eat.
Yeah.
I will say that I did have to dress up like the cow a couple
Oh
times.
my god.
I bet that suit was hot too.
It
wasn't
was so hot. The worst experience, I was at a high school football game dressed like the cow and completely got tackled by this huge
no.
guy. Oh, yeah. And my manager was with me, and he's like, it's a girl in there. Get off of her. Get off of her.
He was like, I'm gonna tackle that cow.
He did it on purpose?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, wouldn't you?
what a fool.
I would tackle the cow on purpose.
Of course you
It
would.
was probably you.
I'm not a beater, man.
Terrible
Which Chick-fil-A
person.
was it?
Chick-fil-A Lake Worth.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's so cool though.
And you said you worked for Burris, which
Yeah,
is a local grocery store.
Yeah.
Javier,
The best.
your first actual job,
This is Poncho's Mexican
Poncho's
buffet.
Mexican
Yeah,
buffet.
That was my
Yeah.
first job.
which we were talking
Raise
about that
the
earlier.
flag.
The last time we ate at
right.
Poncho's, I couldn't tell you the last time I had at Poncho's.
It was one party we had at Jesus's.
That's
yes.
right.
Oh,
Remember,
yeah, yeah.
he had he and Crystal had just moved down the street from that Poncho's, the one you were just talking about.
That was 7 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it was like 7 years ago. It was before it.
That
It doesn't exist anymore.
It wasn't that one. It was the one for close. You know where the QT is? That's where it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, Granbury Road.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then it moved to the other one.
Yeah,
So that
you're
was
right.
like 7 or 8 years ago.
But we didn't go inside.
No, we didn't.
We got it
Just
like
got a
to
party, like a
go
big old party
so we
tray
could like
thing,
hang
yeah.
out at the pool and drink.
Yeah, so I was 15.
Bad
And that was
idea.
my first job, and I hated it because I had to work until like 11 o'clock every night, and it was the worst. But I did take like one of those big 40-ounce cups, and I put ice cream in there, and I just like ate it. On my
Would
way
you say
home.
that was your worst job?
No.
No, you had
No.
you had jobs that were worse than that.
Yeah. Of course.
Like what?
What job was worse than that?
Mexican Inn. Mexican Inn.
You worked at
Cafe.
Mexican Inn?
Yeah. Down the street.
You just like did you just like make a road
Mexican
trip?
restaurant
I
hopping?
hopped from one Mexican restaurant to another.
Like these are my people.
And I'll tell
fit
you
in
what,
just
and
fine.
I was like, I think it was like a sophomore in high school, and they're like, oh, we love the chips, we love the chips. And, we had a class party one time, and they're like, bring Mexican Inn chips. And I'm like, shit, all right. So, of course, the way they make them and they store them, so whenever you put them in the big burner, like the grease that's on the chips is supposed to melt. But I just put the chips in there with the grease on it still and took it to class with a bunch of salsa, and they ate it like that. I'm like, all right, whatever. You're going to get sick.
And they all got sick.
They all got sick. But, no,
This is from Mexican Inn.
yeah.
Their chips are already like you have like more than 5 chips, and you got that like layer of grease on the top of your mouth.
Yeah.
It's a protective coating.
But it was
They're
delicious.
just
though.
greasy, puffy Fritos.
Yeah,
Is all they are.
it is. Yeah, and it was delicious.
Once
yeah.
you get to that point, you can eat anything.
I'll eat,
But they
I'll-
are delicious.
I
I'm
will
not going to
still
say
eat there
they're
to this
not
day.
delicious.
Yeah, but like the way I quit was like, I think like epic. Like,
Oh
'cause
yeah, okay.
To me, like the way I quit that job was chef's kiss.
Okay, say it then. Just say it.
So like the way I quit that job, I had already had issues with the manager because he was taking like his favorite bus. I was a busboy, by the way, like in both jobs.
Oh, but you were not the favorite bus
I
boy.
wasn't the favorite busboy. So he took the busboy to the other Mexican inn that was used to be in downtown, and he took him to pick up chips. But they took like an hour and a half. And there was this really sweet old couple that would go every Friday night, and they were regulars, and they'd always ask how I was doing, and you know, and I'm not going to be rude because they want to talk to me, so I'm going to want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Like they're elderly, and so one of the
Why
waitresses.
wouldn't I want to talk to the elderly?
Yeah, because they're really sweet, you know. And so as soon as I was like, okay, well, I had to get back to work, and so one of the waitresses was like, "You got to speed it up, and you got to quit talking to people. You need to do your job." And I kind of like got really mad, and I was standing in the middle. It was on a Friday night, by the way, so it's like the busiest night of the week. It's crazy busy. So I took off my apron and I threw it up in the air, and I was like, "I quit." And everybody stopped and like, "What?" And I was walking out the door, and this really cute, like the girl that worked in the front, and she's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I just quit." And she's like, "No, you can't quit. No, it's horrible right now. You're the only busboy here," because the other one was the manager. And I was like, "Nope, I'm out." And I thought, like, man, I need to like get this girl's number, like, and hit on her more. But
You like walk up to her, give her like a big old kiss on the lips, like
ooh,
I
I
quit.
should have. I'm out of here. But you know, Erica worked over there, like prom date.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where I met her.
Oh, okay.
See, my first job was Best Buy.
Really?
Straight up. So yeah. So number one, between my junior and senior year, I dropped out of school. Like I was like, I'm done with Castleberry. I'm done with this school. I'm out. I got into it with a teacher who actually got fired the year later, but he basically didn't like me because I stood up for somebody in the classroom, and he got in trouble. And so at the end of the year, I took our final, and he failed me. And he's like, "And I'm the only English 2 teacher next year, and you will have to take it with me again." And I was like, "Cool, I'm done." So I left, went to correspondence school, kind of like, you know, that I had books and I just did busy work and turned that in or whatever. But I started working full time, so I immediately had a full time job at like the age of like 16. And Best Buy was great because I worked with a bunch of older people, and we'd go over to Applebee's after
yeah.
work, and I would get beer because they would think I was 21. And so here I am, like 17 years old, 18 years old, drinking, having a good old time, getting that discount, running out my credit card bill because I got a Best Buy credit card, and I ran that bill way up because when you're working, you just browse, right? You see all the stuff that you want, and you don't know any better, so you buy stuff on credit. I transferred stores to the Lake Worth store whenever it opened up. I got on like a store opening team, and I opened up like several stores in the DFW area, and then I went to Lake Worth. And this one guy that I couldn't stand followed my footsteps essentially and went over there too, and we got into it. And I had a manager that just kind of was like, "Yeah, you know, figure it out yourself." And
Oh, BT, right?
yeah, so BT followed me. This dude follows me into the break room. I was like, "All right, I'm gonna separate myself because I don't need this. We don't need to be yelling at each other, or whatever." But he follows me in the break room, starts screaming at me, like straight up screaming at me. This dude, I'm 21 or 20 at this time, and he is probably 50, and he's just going off. And I'm like, cool. So I told the manager. He got involved. He's like, whatever. Walks back, just shuts the door. So I just flipped him off. I was like, "I fucking quit. I'm done. I'm out of here. Fuck this place," and just walked out. I made a I burned that bridge, like straight
It's
up.
important
burned
to
it.
know that Tim had a really severe anger issue back in the day.
I had
It is so much better now.
I had a short fuse.
But back in the day, I mean, it didn't take very much for
No.
Tim to just be like, done.
Yeah, I was just done. I was
Done.
out. So it was great. I loved it though. I loved working there up until that point, and yeah. But that's the only time I've ever actually quit a job, like straight up burned the bridge. Because I believe in not burning your bridges because you never know when you might need to call on those avenues
Discounts?
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I didn't foresee myself going back to Best Buy.
I don't have. Do you have any good I quit stories?
I'm the same way. I do not burn a bridge. I have not quit without like full notice, sucking
Yeah.
up towards the end. I mean, like, did not burn
Yeah.
the bridge.
Yeah, the only time that I've only quit 2 jobs, but when I quit Burris, it was only because I started working at Castleberry part-time in the summer, and I was like juggling. I was working like 60 hours a week, like straight out of high school, because I was doing both jobs. And I told my boss, like, I'm gonna put in a 2-week notice, and then like I got so overwhelmed the next day, I was like, you know what, make it a today notice. Like I was done. So I mean, that was the only time I've really quit other than Castleberry, but like it was a 2-week notice.
You're the reason why we don't have a grocery store anymore. You were the
No.
you were the backbone of that
No,
store.
it's because they got purchased by Super Save and they went straight into the ground. That is a
Yeah.
fact. So I actually have got a few really funny from the Business Insider. They had this whole article about here are some of the most dramatic stories we've ever heard about quitting a job. And so I'm just gonna say what, like 5? Is that cool?
Yeah,
Can I do
man.
5?
Yeah,
All
5.
right. So there's one, and it says, so I flipped over a stack of their stinking breadsticks. I flipped over a tray of breadsticks on a crowded line in a pizza restaurant during their Friday rush hour. I was told repeatedly to clean the breadstick trays, but they rebuked me in a way entirely Dang, breadstick man's using some big words. Incommensurate? I've never...
Oh my God.
Smart Holly. What is that word?
Incommiserate?
I'm leaving.
That's it.
Is it really?
Way to
Incommiserate?
go.
College bowl.
Whoa!
College bowl.
Nailed it with my errors. So I flipped over a stack of their stinking breadsticks, removed my gloves, extended both middle fingers, and went home. So that was from some dude in New York. Here's another one where I quit by filing a lawsuit against my employer, and I won it. The employer went bankrupt a month later. Oh, damn, that's rough, but kind of baller. That one's pretty long. I'm going to skip that one. That one's really long, too. All right. My boss slept with my wife at the company's
my
Christmas
God.
party. I slept with his daughter. It was filmed and sent to him in an email.
Oh, my
Holy shit.
God.
That was here in Texas. That wasn't
Of course it
Austin.
was.
Yeah, of course it was. Oh, that's great. This concrete business owner and I argued over my salary for 1 full year. Every time he spoke, he reduced what my raise was to be. He suckered me into working for him for an entire year, always promising to raise my salary. Eventually, I walked up to him and threatened to hit him with a sledgehammer as he sat in his car, but then I quit.
Like, okay, wait, he threatened him and then he just quit?
But then he quit, yeah.
Dude, that's like assault charges, man.
Yeah, and kind of a cop-out, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
if you had the sledgehammer, never mind.
Should have just.
I planned a vacation to the Bahamas that I didn't tell work about. Right before I boarded my flight, I texted my boss that I wouldn't be coming back. Then I turned off my phone for the entire trip. That sounds more like something I would probably
That is
do.
how I would do it. I've decided.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would probably do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna come in today,
That's a great burn your bridge epic moment.
or the rest of the week.
Dude, the one with the bankruptcy, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder, I mean, it didn't really get into detail what he sued about. But can you imagine having a lawsuit and winning it and then they're just completely out of commission? Damn.
Hey,
Damn.
Sorry about your business, right?
sorry about you.
Have you ever done anything? Let's start with you, Holly.
Okay.
Oh,
Have you ever done anything at a job? I would assume it'd probably be Chick-fil-A, so I don't think you would do anything like this in your current professional career. But have you ever done anything in any of the jobs that you've had in the past that you probably shouldn't have done?
Oh man. Y'all, I kid you not. I am a model employee. Like, I am terrified of losing
She's like,
a
this
job.
is being recorded, right?
Yeah.
we will have you on the record.
If you're a cop, you have to tell me that's entrapment.
You know, I wouldn't say I've done anything that I shouldn't have done, but I will say working in healthcare, I have been put in some weird situations.
Oh, yeah.
Especially public relations marketing. It's like you are the catch-all for shit that people don't know what to do with.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the weirdest one, I worked in Weatherford for a while. Parker County, love them. If you've got any Weatherford listeners, they're great people, but you will encounter some strange shit out there.
Yes.
Oh, they know. If they're
least she's being
listening, they
real
know.
about
So one day I got a call to my office, and there wasn't another administrator in the administrative suite downstairs, and so they were like, "We need somebody to come talk to this patient." There was a woman who had brought her possum in, and she tried to claim that it was an emotional support
my God.
animal.
Oh my god.
And so they're like, "We need somebody who can come up here and talk to her." And so I was like, "Okay, well, I guess I'll go." So I tried to tell her, "No, who can we call to come pick up this possum? It can't be here." And I tried to say, it's not an emotional support animal. I was like, "What task does it perform?" Trying to be, very PC about it. And I said, "It's a rodent. It can't be in here.
Ma'am,
She
it's a wild
argued.
possum.
She was like, it is a marsupial. It's not a rodent. I mean, anyways, finally her daughter came, picked up the possum. But those are the kind of things that the weirdest experiences in healthcare.
I've had one that
Isn't a marsupial a kangaroo?
She said,
A possum is a
and
marsupial.
it's the only marsupial in North
I'm
America.
about 90% sure.
It's
yeah.
a dingo, right? Like, I mean,
she didn't like that I called it a rodent.
It's also basically a rodent. Yeah.
so you called it a rodent. You told her it was a rodent.
Oh, and she did not appreciate that at all.
Yeah.
Well, it was her emotional
And
support
it was
possum.
it's so weird. It was just like on her shoulder. I mean, it just sat
Was
there.
it chill or was it like
I mean, it was chill. I mean,
possums are mean?
it was fine. I mean, it can't be in a hospital,
Well,
but it
yeah.
was fine.
Weird things that you deal with in healthcare
Yeah.
that you'd never think that would come across.
We've got a lot of people, a lot of friends that are nurses or doctors or EMTs or just in the medical field. And I don't think anything really, I mean, the possum thing kind of surprised me. That was pretty awesome. But like literally hearing about things that people do or things that people have to deal with in the medical field is just nuts. Like that is not a job I think that I could handle very well.
No, me neither. My sister's going to school for to be a nurse.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because she wanted to be a vet first, and my brother's like, you're going to have to put dogs down. And she's like, really? Like, yeah, it's part of the job. You got to do it. And she like switched to like children because you can't put them down.
Did they say the same thing?
You're going to put children down.
That's kind of messed up, Javier. Why would you say that?
No, I mean, but she's trained to be a nurse now, so props to her. Props to my sister. So good for
Okay,
her.
but
Javier, what's the worst thing you've done
At work,
at a job?
yeah, at a job.
is there a statute of limitations?
I mean,
Okay, because I know one of the worst things that you and Anthony have done.
No, that's nothing. That's nothing. I mean more in the food industry thing. But we can talk about me and Anthony. We can talk about me and Anthony. Oh no, I'm not even gonna. Can you believe Anthony's name out? It was a long time ago. So okay,
now I'm worried. I wasn't worried before, but now I'm worried.
I'm in
the food
danger.
one? Anyway, no, the food's too. Never mind. Okay,
Just say it. Quit
well-
saying never mind. What was in the food?
nothing was in the food.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
So when we worked at Best Buy, like the last Harry Potter book came out, and me and Anthony would like rip the pages out of the last chapter. We'd rip the pages out, and just put it in there because Best Buy used to sell books, so we'd like tear those Harry Potter books out, and
Some people want to watch the world burn.
and we would break CDs on purpose and play basketball with the boxes. And Eric Primera one time, like he was looking for a Playing Skills CD. If anybody remembers Playing Skills,
I remember.
so there was one more left, and Eric's like, "Oh, this is it." And Anthony was helping him look for it, so he got the CD, and he had his class ring on, and he just like pushes it against the CD and breaks it, and he's like, "Oh man, it's broken." So we would do stuff like that.
Y'all are a bunch of assholes, man.
I mean,
I mean, he was a friend too.
Yeah.
You're like breaking dreams is a friend.
yeah.
Man, y'all are rough.
No, I mean,
I'll tell you that I never did anything like anything too crazy. Whenever Best Buy let people use my discount or whatever, like everybody does, right?
I still do that. I do that now.
Yeah. But I will tell you, I worked for a hazmat company, which by far the worst job I ever did. And I didn't do anything bad, but there was questionable things that were happening that I just kind of like turn a blind eye because
Did you fuck a dead body?
like no, I should
What
no.
the hell,
Took a
dude?
dark turn.
Sorry.
So I could have been a whistleblower with
He
like
can bleep it. He can bleep it.
with like the EPA. Yeah, with like the EPA stuff, and we had things that we would take to dumps that it's got to meet certain criteria, and we would have like maybe 15 like 55-gallon drums full of like things that could be dumped here, and then there'd be like one or two that we had to throw in there that shouldn't be going to this dump kind of deal.
Is it
yeah.
body parts?
No, but like just different chemicals and things like that. That's
Okay.
probably not good. But one of the things,
Really not good. Like that's really not good.
yeah,
That's worse than whatever
That's
you put
worse
in that
than my
food.
food then.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. I mean, at least
That's
it's-
global warming.
At least,
right there.
At least it's in a dump, right? But we had this boss. This boss was like, we always joked with it. We'd go out on a spill, and you'd have an 18-wheeler that turned over or whatever, and we're going out to clean up diesel, and it'd be like a Walmart truck. And we always had this running joke. He's like, "Boys, you just go in there and pick you out something nice out of that Walmart truck," because that was kind of what would happen sometimes. We would collect diesel out of these 18-wheelers because they wrecked or whatever, and we would fill up drums, and that's what we filled our vehicles with at the shop was recovered diesel that was supposed to be, yeah. It was.
What are you supposed to do with it?
Like, it's supposed to be disposed of.
Well, okay. I don't hate you
and
on
we're
that
just
one
taking
because
it.
you're reusing instead of just getting rid of. That's kind of shitty thing.
Resourceful.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought you were going to say you put bodies in there and
Yeah, I was a
burned
little
it.
worried about what was next.
You know, the cartel does that.
I thought you were stealing shit off of the Walmart truck is what I really thought.
Well, and I didn't.
Gosh.
I didn't, but there were times that things got removed. I did end up with
And the name of this company?
yeah. I did end up with some cell phones at one point that came from a company that we were hired to get rid of all their paint products. It's a big company, a big global company, and after they replace cell phones, cell phones are supposed to like disappear and be disposed of. And I ended up with a cell phone because that's what we did.
Oh, we used to do that at T-Mobile all the time. We used to get like old phones and get new ones.
I'll tell you the company after we get off the record. So
The worst thing I ever did, and it seems to like really just kind of like seem not that bad in comparison to you guys, is like at Burris, we would sit out, like we had a manager that would just get really high. Like he would just be popping like Xanax back to back to back just to see how many do you think he'll do tonight? Like that was legit. Like how many could he do? And I think one night, and this is crazy to me because now I know what a Xanax is. When I was 16, 17, I had no idea, right? I had no idea. And so he was popping like 10. And I don't know how strong they were, but he was popping like 10.
were they like bars?
Were they 4 bars?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Man.
And I didn't know what that meant, and it was like it went from like 2, and it kind of scaled its way up over a month or two. And he would ask us, "How many do you think I can do tonight?" And like we knew, however high that number
You could do
was,
20.
we weren't doing anything for the rest of the night. Like we would like play. We would get on like we had like this rolling thing, and we'd like throw each other into cans until they fell. Like that was kind of fun because he didn't care.
It's
But
like
then
bowling with people.
right, exactly in the back, but with cans. Cans are a little bit heavy. It hurt sometimes depending on how high the stack of cans were. But then if he wasn't working and we actually had to work, he taught us that we should hide in the big cooler. And then they had like these little cheesecake bites, and he like set aside a bunch of boxes. And he's just like, yeah. He made a throne out of like empty milk crates, and you would just sit back there in the cooler. The only caveat, it's a little cold, but you're sitting back there on your king's throne eating little cheesecake bites. So those were the 2 worst things I think I'd ever done in a job. That's it.
Cool.
It feels not so bad now.
That's good.
I was so afraid to tell y'all too.
But do you feel better now? Like
I'm just glad that
you
someone knows.
confessed.
You know what I mean?
Should we start having like a confessional like period on every episode?
Confession every episode. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Get some stuff off our chest.
I mean, you can't, admit to murder. Cause,
I feel like that. I think
Is
this
there a statute
is
of limitations?
Javier's confession time, though. By the way,
It really
this is where Javier gets a little too true, and so this is his confession time. I guess I just haven't really taken it that way yet for myself.
It happens. I had a handful of food. Okay, so let's talk about side hustles and hobbies. Let's go ahead and segue over to that. We talked earlier about side hustles. 2020 has been a rough year.
Did we?
I don't think we did.
Yeah, we talked about hobbies.
We talked about
did?
hobbies.
Yeah, we talked about hobbies.
Not even side hustles?
No.
Not on OnlyFans?
Oh, before
we were recording.
we
yeah,
started
yeah,
recording.
yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, side hustles. Go ahead.
Side hustles and hobbies, I mean, it is a year to be more resourceful.
Agreed.
And to get money. Side hustles, it can be like selling vintage clothes, selling shoes that you already have, just, regular products. The vintage thing and even trading cards have been a big deal here lately with the pandemic coming on. So what are different kinds of side hustles or like hobbies that you can make into that have you been trying to do? Or I know like we all have our jobs here, but I mean, what is something that you would like to do?
So like, what are you doing to keep yourself sane?
That's a good question. What
Now,
do you-
That is a
I
good
just put I put her
question.
on the spot, and she's like, I don't know what it. Maybe you're not sane.
I mean, like Chad has his greenhouse with his planting and
Well, that's volunteer. That's that's hobby, but like side hustle. You mean like doing a little stuff on the stock market? Like I use Robinhood app, and I just like throw money around all the time.
That
I
app
love
is
doing
awesome.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mess around with Robinhood?
I do.
You fucks with some
I
Robinhood?
fucks with some.
Robin Hood's straight fire.
It is straight fire.
I fucks with it.
Especially this year, as soon as stuff dropped, I'm like, all right. And I already had a bunch of money in crypto. As soon as that started going up, I took it all out, threw it into Robinhood, and now Robinhood's got crypto, which is nice. But
Yeah.
it's fun.
Real quick, shout out to JOE because he said he was watching us, and so I just want to tell him that we fucks with that, and this was. And Robinhood is straight fire. So.
Yeah, JOE, if you want to make a little additional side money on top of your rap game, just download Robinhood, mess around with the stock market. That's what people are doing apparently these days. So
that's what ballers are doing.
Do you have any other ways to make money other than your job or doing a little Robinhood, or do you buy or sell anything?
I don't buy or sell anything, but I know people hate when you talk about special projects that you can't really elaborate on. But 2021, I've got a new business coming. So stay tuned for that. Heard here first, but I just filed for, name and licensing there.
We got to have you back on whenever
Fort
that
Worth,
happens.
specific for our community.
No
Love
way.
that.
Yep.
And you hear the Funky Panther, we love supporting local.
Exactly.
That we do.
So,
Man, I don't know. Why are you even here? We needed to wait until you started that up. No.
I know.
Well, I mean, because, you brought up whenever Jared talked about bringing her on, and I was like, dude, we have, we have to. She's like one of our smartest friends. It's really cool. I'm really excited. I know you
I
can't
am
say
too.
anything, but
I know. I can't give any more
I
information.
know,
but
I know.
I promise
This
I'll
is
send it to
really
you guys
that's
soon.
cool.
All right. So now that we're kind of talking about the future, right? Let's first talk about 2020. What are you most proud of? And you've already kind of hit on your career progression, but what are you most proud of from 2020 despite all the shit?
Well, I know I said jumping off, but I will say, from March until July, while I was still with the healthcare system, it was chaos in the PR world. And so surviving that and supporting our frontline staff, it was crisis communication to the max. And that's what so much of my world consisted of. And so I will say surviving and thriving in the COVID environment within the hospital system is another thing that I am proud of and I would never like to do again.
But I'm sure you learned a lot from it.
Absolutely.
And, that's not easy work. Especially this year of all years, right? That's crazy that you had to deal with that.
Absolutely. Well, and it's an around the clock thing. And so, shout out to all the people who are still in administration and kind of managing that portion of it.
Yeah. What about you, Javier? What are you proud of this year?
What am I proud of? That I've gotten better at my craft, work-wise. I'm improving every month, and my goals are I set my goals at the start of the year that we talked about, and I think coming into the new year, I think it's gonna just get better, and we'll have a bigger place where we can record, and work is just great right now. Luckily, I'm in a spot where I can travel for my job if I have to or if I want to, and I'm just happy to be able to do that.
Nice. There's the kids. Tim?
So I wasn't proud of a whole lot of stuff other than, starting a podcast and actually really building this up.
Yeah.
Really freaking cool. Until our funky Christmas special.
Okay.
That made me extremely proud. Out of everything that we've done this year, out of everybody we've talked to, out of everything that, I've done,
She's still right here. Jeez.
being able...
Included our special guest, Holly,
Including Holly.
who's with us right now.
Holly, you're cool and all, but Kanye should have. No, but for real, the fact that we were able to raise money in a very short amount of time.
Agreed.
And really, it was a lot of work just kind of getting everything orchestrated and the tech side of stuff. But for real, that was the easiest grand that I've ever made. Ever.
Stop.
Seriously, just to sit back and not have to do much.
Hold on,
and-
wait, what? I know how you can make an easier grand.
But for real though, it was one of the easiest things. Really, we sat back and let the people do it, and that was really cool.
Well, we're very lucky to have people that joined us, right?
Right.
That donated. We're also very lucky to have, friends that want to give. Because we're at a point in our life where we feel like we can, and we also, I think, surround ourselves with people that are very like-minded, which is very beneficial. So you can't really just kind of debit that a little bit, right? It's a big deal.
Right.
Plus, we've got very talented friends that are able to come on, play some music, do it for free, right? And then make some money for a good cause. And then local businesses to give us money or
Yep.
give us gift cards and stuff so that we can make even more money. So, I mean, it wasn't just easy, but
No.
it wasn't just luck. Like
Right.
we're very fortunate to have the circle around us that we do, both in our friend group and in the city of Fort Worth, I think, as well.
But 2021, my goal is we're gonna have COVID willing, we're gonna have some big moves. I want to do another charity event. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
But I want to do it like big time live, like actual we're gonna sell tickets, get up with a local brewery or other venue and actually have like 4, 5, 6 different artists and vendors out there, all that stuff.
Can one of them be Coldplay?
I don't think we can afford.
Do you think you can get Coldplay?
If you can pull Coldplay, then yes. And if you're getting Coldplay, then we're getting Nickelback too.
I can get the easiest I can get is MC Hammer.
Hey,
This will be fun though.
can we get Menudo?
No, what?
So moving into 2021 goals,
2021,
your
yeah.
goal is to have just a similar type thing where it's for charity.
Yeah, I want a funky Christmas special, but like live,
But
like
live
truly
and
live
bigger.
event and bigger.
How about a Funky Panther Summer Beach hangout special
That would be
where
even.
we're at a beach?
If
That'd
we
be
can
really
and
cool.
it's safe and Zeus is here,
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, Panther Island. See if we can do that there with the river and the beach and all that stuff. That'd be really cool.
What were you gonna say, Holly?
I was going to say, you might need to work on your name a little bit. It's a little long.
As a PR person, that you should take that in. Listen to what she's saying.
She'll give you some offline feedback on that name.
I'd rather listen to her than into you goons.
No, but I will
yeah.
say, I know that I'm here right now, but
Yeah.
that is what you should be the most proud of and what you guys have done. And you're right, it's an ecosystem, especially in Fort Worth. And the more that we can pull together and support, I know we mentioned earlier the nonprofits and what they've, kind
right.
of been through this year also, but you guys should be extremely proud of that.
Thank you.
And even like doing something year round because, like you said, we don't know how long this is going to go for. Like we don't know how long it's going to be before places can get fundraising events going or like even anything small. I mean,
and to expand on that, I think we also need to not worry about. I mean, we need to worry about it a little bit. But we need to start thinking for the future and still making these plans. And if COVID doesn't allow us to have this happen or something else happens, then we can adapt and change on the fly. That's one thing that I've really learned about this year. Because everything it's a new experience.
You know what they say about a new experience?
oh yeah, new
it's a new
experiences.
experience.
You
You
never
never
know what
know.
to expect.
You never know.
You never know what to expect in a new experience. It's brand new.
It's because it's a new experience.
It's a new experience.
New experiences,
You never know
really
what to expect.
You never know what to expect. With
You don't
a
know
new
what you get yourself
experience.
into. Mm-hmm. So, Holly, what do you? What is a goal or something that you're looking to achieve in 2021?
So I know that I mentioned it, and I know I can't tell you anything
Okay,
further
moving
than
on.
that. but to get this small business, it's Fort Worth local. It'll be something that I think all of you will be excited about, and so I'm excited to get that off the ground. First part of the year. So
Awesome.
more to come on that. I know it's annoying when you can't give details.
Holly's over here making money moves.
Yeah,
That's what's
I know,
happening.
right? All right, Javier.
I just want to have her back on whenever she's ready to announce it, or whenever she announces it. It's going to be really
That's your achievement of 2021.
not for me, for her.
Oh.
Thank you for contributing to mine. I appreciate it.
Here,
Your 2021 goal.
we want to be the first podcast exclusive of your announcement. So whenever you announce it, you can announce it to everything else, but we want to be the first podcast.
Absolutely. I will
Okay,
promise
okay.
you that.
Okay.
Like just with everything, like growth. That's what I want for 2021.
Yeah.
I just want the growth. That's it. I mean,
What do you mean by growth?
Don't feed into it.
Well, I'm talking about like, is it because of your work or the podcast? Like, what growth?
both like
Personal?
work and the work podcast, personal, like growth needs to be. I mean, this was supposed to be our roaring 20s. We didn't get that, so we have to make
Our
up for
roaring
that
21s.
in the 2020, the roaring 21. So like we just have to make do with it. We're gonna have to do it. I mean, because this year was a fucking doozy, and we're gonna have to make sure this next one
Do we get a do-over?
we.
I saw two memes that I think are worth saying. One of them was like, if you think this, I think Jesus mentioned it. It's like, you think this is bad, wait till we turn 21. So like that has me worried about next year a little bit. I was like, oh shit.
I think everything for us is going to be magnified for me, you, the crew. I mean, it's just gonna get better. I mean, that's the way we have to see things. We can't look things at the negative. You have to think at the positive. So I think that where we're going in the next 2 weeks and beyond is going to be monumental in our growth.
Well, I think a lot of people have talked poorly about this year, and I agree that there's a lot of shit that happened this year, a lot of unfortunate things that happened this year. But I will also say that this, it doesn't matter, whatever it is that you do in your career, or if you lost your job, got a new job, or found something else. Hopefully, you can find some kind of positive in the growth that you've had. Like Holly mentioned, it was one of the roughest 4 or 5 months in your life, probably that particular job at the time. But how much you grew from it, and probably has helped you even propel in your current job, right? Because of the things that you were doing at the time. And so there's a lot of positives that have also come from this year, if we can find them. But we've got to find them. Another meme I was thinking about. There was this one about Future, and the Future song "Mask Off."
Yeah.
Like as soon as COVID's done, that's going to be like our anthem. Is like "Mask Off." That's going to be like jump back up to #1, and then we're all going to learn at the time why he calls himself Future.
Mind blown.
I thought it was funny. Whatever. All right. Well, Holly, we really appreciate you being with us tonight. We will have you on again. Can't wait to talk about the thing that we can't talk about next year that you're going to be doing that's local. So super stoked about it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you're watching us on Twitch or YouTube, please make sure you subscribe, follow us on social media at The Funky Panther. If you're listening to us on any of the podcast outlets, also make sure you follow us and subscribe if you can. We appreciate you.
So this is our last episode of the year. So it's been great. Thanks for supporting us.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
By the time you listen to us, it's going to already have been done past Christmas. Thank you again, Holly, and all of our other guests that have been by this year. This was our first year, so hopefully we can.
Hell of a year.
Hell of a year. Yeah. But thank you so much. It means so much to us.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys having me, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
And everybody out there, stay good. I'm Chad.
I'm Javier.
And I'm Tim.
Oh, and I'm Holly.
And we are
the Funky Panther! You just told her she wasn't going to do that
told me I wasn't gonna
earlier.
include it.
It's the last show of the year. Just let us
Everything.
do this.